All right, I wanted to share with you something that actually really helps me in my workflow when I'm recording these walk and talk videos, aka vlogs. Basically, it's making sure that my setup is very simple. So I basically just use this. This device is the Insta360 ONE X2 camera. It's gone up to, I think, ONE X4 now, but it is very handy because I can just have a separate device to my phone, which I can record with, and it just records really smoothly. And it records wide angle as well, so I can get a lot, and my hands don't have to be too far from myself in order to record. The other benefit of using this camera is simply the fact that it records pretty good audio anyway. But then it's just really handy. I can put it in my bag. It's light compared to other cameras, or even this camera I'm recording. I'm recording on the Sony ZV-E10 camera at the moment, and it's quite heavy to record with, like holding by hand, but also it attracts much more attention than this nifty little device does. So I do that, and then I also take advantage of AI. So I use some pro features within CapCut to help me clean my audio. So I use noise reduction. I also use audio enhance. Between those two, I'm able to reduce the noise level and all the other road noises that I might hear, so that my videos can still come out sounding clear, clean, and you're still able to enjoy them even though I'm recording whilst walking outside. If you want me to do a tutorial on how I use CapCut to actually do this or do my editing, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to create one for you. I really don't mind. But yeah, that's my simple setup. Now, in terms of holding this, I can either hold it just on its own like this, or attach it to, this is a magic arm. So magic arm is something that you can move about quite easily. So I attach it to that, or I attach it to this tiny tripod as well. And the good thing about this kind of tripod is that it actually folds into a base. So if I want to put it down somewhere, I could fold it out and put it into a base, but then yeah, just do that there. It has a screw right on the bottom of it right there. And that's where I screw on, I hope you can see that there, but that's where I can screw on any stand I want to put it on. And it's just really helpful, but definitely for walking situations, this thing comes in handy. Now, I could use my phone, but it's actually less convenient to do so for two reasons. Sometimes I want to check out something on my phone, maybe a YouTube video that I watched that's forming the inspiration for the video I'm recording, and I need to have a separate device to do that on. Two, also just the awkwardness of holding the phone. Like, I could just go about recording, just take this in my bag and I'm good to go with recording. However, with let me get my phone for you. With my phone, this one, which is the Samsung S21. Now this phone is pretty good for recording. The only downside is it's more natural to hold it this way, right? But the downside with holding it that way is that I'm only getting portrait mode. And this way as well, I'm only getting the front-facing camera for feedback, which isn't as good as the back one. So if I turn it around, it's good, but then I can't see what I'm recording. That's something to bear in mind. But then the other thing is actually, a lot of my videos are landscape, and landscape is the natural video format for long form videos. And so I'd have to hold it like this, but then this is quite, it's quite a lot to hold it like this, or I'd have to get an extra stand, and that just complicates the process. For me, I want to keep things as simple as possible so that I can record and put things out really quickly and just remove the friction. That's one of the principles that I often think, okay, if I want to do something and I want to make sure I'm able to do it well without any distractions or with limiting the distractions, one thing I really need to do is figure out how to make it as simple as possible. Sometimes I can add some other things on to make it more interesting, to make it look better. So for example, right now I'm recording at home. I had to set up a tripod. I'll try and take a picture actually whilst I'm recording so you can see what I mean. I had to get a tripod set up. I had to put my camera up, had to set up some lights. I had to put an external microphone. So now I'm recording with the, what's this? This is the Rode wireless go-to microphone. It's hanging just off my bag there. That's why sometimes I have a bag, because I can put my camera stuff in and I can also hang a microphone on it. So it's quite good. This is a wireless microphone. But yeah, and then put everything on. So I've got lights, I've got the camera, I've got microphones, I've got my iPad, which is helping me control my camera remotely. And it's just a lot of faff, right? And that then means that it takes me longer to just get on with recording. Whereas if all I did was just carry a simple device like this, which has a screen on the other side so that you can see what you're recording if you're recording yourself, and it's got cameras on both sides. So if I wanted to record what's in front of me instead of looking at myself, I could do that as well. It's just really handy. So I really like this for that. It just makes my workflow a lot simpler. Now, Video quality wise, I don't think it's not I don't think it's not as good as the Sony ZV-E10. I can get way better would I say footage on the ZV-E10, but for the convenience, it's definitely worth using. With the Sony ZV-E10, I can also get like the blurry background going on, which I really like. But I would even trade that blurry background for just being able to just get up and go and record. Some other people use the GoPro cameras as well, or other cameras like these. I mean, this might be an overkill. This is a 360 camera, so it does more than just record, your vlog style videos. If I wanted, I could record a 360 vlog. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll try it one of these days. But yeah, it's one of those very interesting setups. But I thought I'd share that with you because some of you might be wondering, okay, how is it that I'm able to get these videos recorded so quickly and have them recorded in such a way that I can record and edit really quickly? It's just by keeping things simple. So even when it comes to the editing, I mean, I could do a lot of editing, a lot of text and stuff. And sometimes when I feel like I do, but many times I'm just down for just making it as simple as possible. Record, edit quickly, put it up. I also take advantage of CapCut's text-based editing tool. I've done a few videos talking about this. You can check this in the description. But basically, it just means that it takes your video, transcribes the text. It's particularly good for videos where you speak a lot, and then it can just help you see what you said in the video, and then you can just cut out bits that way, which works as well. Although I would say there's some things to just watch out for. Like if you tell it to just automatically remove all the ums and ahs and everything it thinks is a filler word, it can end up making your video choppy, particularly when you want to undo it. All the cuts make the video come out a bit choppy. So you just want to watch out for that. But having said that, that's a really, really useful tool, a lifesaver, really, particularly when you have long videos and it's just long. It's just too long to listen to the whole thing multiple times to get it done. That can come in really handy. If you're going to use your phone, that's fine too. Just make sure you have your phone holder with you or take it with you whenever you're going around so you can record in landscape mode and then just do it. Or if you prefer, you can record in portrait mode if that works for you and if you really want to see yourself in the front-facing camera. Oh, another thing that helps me as well actually is keeping the ideas simple. So what I've been doing is one of the videos that you're going to watch, it probably would have come up before this video you're seeing, is called Fill, Empty, Use. And basically it's about taking content and just learning a lot of things, then emptying your mind of those things onto paper, onto a screen somewhere you can take notes in, and then using what you've learned to create something. Either you use it in the work that you currently do or the things that you like to do, whether it's your hobbies or work or whatever, or actually creating something else from it. So maybe creating a newsletter or creating a video like this one. Since I have that as a process for creating content, what I then do is make sure I watch something or I learn from something, I synthesize it and just write stuff down, and then go ahead and record a video when I'm walking. And when I'm in that zone and I'm walking, I want things to be very simple. So I just make sure I have at least this to record with. This is my Insta360 ONE X2 camera, just mentioning that again for anybody who's looking that up. And then I just go about recording and then come back to edit. And I keep the idea, that's what I was trying to say. I keep the idea very simple such that it's just one idea or one video I'm thinking of. In the course of recording the video, I might think of other ways or other videos or other content that links into what I'm talking about in that video, but there is one central idea that I create the video around. That way, it just helps me keep the video very simple, but also means it's less complicated to actually think of what to say in the video if I know I'm talking about one thing and just expanding on one point. And eventually I can create videos that synthesize different ideas that I've covered over time. That's the idea behind these anyways. So I need a really efficient setup. And like I said, being able to have a nifty device like this and a good editing technique also helps. If you want me to run through any of the particular editing techniques I've mentioned, I'm happy to do so as well. I love creating tutorials, so I'd be happy to do that for you. Just let me know. I mean, some of the techniques I've mentioned here so far are, so in my recording, making things simple in just what I'm recording to start with. Something I should mention is whenever I make a mistake, I make sure I pause for a few seconds like this. And then I know when I look in the video waveform, like the sound waveform, I can see, okay, there's a long pause there. Maybe that was where I made a mistake and I just pay more attention to that. So it makes my editing a lot quicker and easier. That's one thing. Then when it comes to editing, I use transcript-based editing on CapCut because then I can see the text and it means I can edit quicker. And if I remember there were places where maybe I made a mistake and I remember there was a particular word in the place where I made the mistake, all I have to do is just search for that word and then quickly edit that out and then do the rest of my editing. I keep my editing usually pretty simple. Sometimes I add some text just to emphasize some things, but usually I keep it pretty simple. And then, I just export it and upload it. Besides that, with my audio, actually, some audio is very important and you need to make sure it's crisp. And so what I do is I use noise reduction within CapCut to reduce the noise level on my recordings. But then I also use it's a pro tool, by the way. CapCut costs about, I don't know if it's 10 pounds, UK pounds, or about $15, $16 a month. I can't remember exactly the cost for it, but I'm only just trying out the pro version actually, and I find there's some useful tools there you can use. So I use that. So I use the audio enhance function to be able to just enhance the audio first, and then there's also voice isolation, so I'm able to isolate the voice. But sometimes I still want a bit of the ambient sound. So what I do for that is that I make sure that I duplicate the audio track for the video, and then make sure I isolate the speaking part of it, so that part is a lot higher. But then I also, with the duplicate track, I then make that to remove the voice. And then I reduce that volume to a lot lower. So what that means is you still get a sense of the ambience, but you get clear sound. So you can hear what's going on in the video a lot clearer. I hope that sort of makes sense. Again, if there's anything you want me to cover a bit clearer in the video, do let me know. I'd be happy to do a tutorial for you. Share this video with somebody. I think it could be helpful to somebody who is maybe starting up with video editing or having to edit their own videos. It could be helpful to them. But beyond that, if you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. At the point of recording this, I'm on 815 subscribers. I'm looking to get to 1,000. Ideally before the end of the year. It's August. I think that's achievable. Help me along the journey, please. Do subscribe. Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And then check out some of the other videos that are going to appear somewhere on your screen. Most likely over there. Yeah, probably over there. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.